infrastructure, making life hard for Ukrainians who are facing power cuts and water shortages. If the war continues at this pace, what would that mean for Ukrainians, both ones residing in their country and ones who have fled?
Yeah, the Russian strategy at the moment, because they're not doing so well on the battlefield, is simply to make life intolerable for those civilians who remain in the eastern part of Ukraine, living in the cities such as in Kharkiv, Kherson. Bakhmut, of course, is the focus of the battle at the moment. And they're taking out power supplies, heating facilities, critical energy infrastructure in the middle of winter. And so people are literally sitting in the dark, in the freezing cold over Christmas while the battle rages. And the Kremlin's strategy seems to try and wear down the resolve of the Ukrainian population to resist in order to pressure Kiev into capitulating, or at least coming to the negotiation table, willing to negotiate, which implicitly means that they're expecting the Ukrainians to give up the territory that Russia occupies, and that's the essence of the Kremlin is pushing for. Although on the Ukrainian side, the population resolve is adamant that they're willing, 90% plus are saying they're willing to fight, that they do not want to give any territory at all. And so the two sides are far apart, and Russia will continue this bombardment in the hope of breaking that resolve.
You mentioned the negotiating table. We did hear from the Ukrainian foreign minister about a peace summit being held in February, but with the precondition of Russia facing a war crimes tribunal. Can we expect that to happen?
As I say, I think the two sides are very far apart. I mean, another one of the Ukrainian demands is that they'll only start negotiations when Russia is at least retreated to the 2014 borders. In other words, where they held Donetsk and Lugansk, the two cities, but not the whole of the Donbass territory. Moreover, the land bridge that now connects the Russian border from Rostov down to Crimea, that the Ukrainians are saying that Russia has to give that up. And Zelensky's even suggested that they want to go back to the 1991 borders, which means that Crimea has to be victim. And there's no way that the Kremlin is going to accept any of that. They want peace talks, to negotiate about the control or conceding control of the occupied territories to Russia in order to bring the war to an end. So as I say, I think there might be some efforts. Clearly, there's a lot of talk about peace talks, and the European allies, I think, would be keen to see this end before another energy crisis hits next winter.
Right.
But on the Ukrainian side, and everyone said it's up to the Ukrainians to decide when they stop, and there's no sign of them wanting to stop yet.
All right, Ben Aris, thank you so much for joining us here on TRT World and sharing that analysis with us.